I hope everyone is having a beautiful day in the building, guys. It looks like this is going to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful week for us Reds as Florian Wirtz, our record transfer signing, is set to fly to the UK this week. His holiday reportedly ends this Wednesday, and he'll fly to the UK so later this week, so that will probably be Thursday. And I'm seeing reports from Germany that the first part of his medical could take place on Thursday, second part on Friday, just like we saw Frimpong doing two sets of medicals. One was on a Sunday, the other on a Monday. But either way, David Ornstein also said the medical is set to be on Friday, even though that, again, those little slight dates could change. I think the medical could happen over 2 days, like we saw with Frimpong. But guys, it looks like this week, this is the week where we could already have the announcement. What a time to be alive. And I think the Kirkes here we go is going to come as well. The amount of times Fabrizio Romano has said, like, he's sure he's going to become a Liverpool player. He just can't have the here we go until everything is 1000% signed and sealed. But guys, it looks like this is going to be a very special week for us. Come on. And I was saying too, I think this is such fantastic news that we're getting it done. It's June 16th. June 16th. And we've already gotten this record signing over the line. And why is that so important? So that Florian Wirtz can be there for the first day of preseason. That way he can get adjusted to, he can get adjusted to our team, our style of play. Slot can start to kind of, show in training and have him practicing in training how he'll set up in this Liverpool team next season. But man, guys, I am just way too freaking excited. The reports of his wages are very different when you look at the UK or Germany. I think we kind of have to stick with the UK sources. And the UK sources, so David Ornstein and The Athletic, are saying he's going to be earning around £200,000 a week. But in that contract, there's a lot of space for bonuses, But in that same article from The Athletic, it also said overall cost, when you look at the entire year of Trent, was around £12 million. And they estimate that Wirtz's overall cost per year is going to be around £12 million. So it seems like actually whatever Trent was earning in the complete package of his wages is similar to what Wirtz is going to be earning. So, it's one out the door and then another coming in. So, it's not so bad when you look at it in that kind of way. Oh, I got to show you this quote. I got to show you this quote. I think it's one of the reasons why we decided to go for Wirtz. And I think it says it all. Ready? This is from an article from, I forget, I think it was from the Times. Someone that was writing about Wirtz. Just listen to this quote. Humble off the ball and arrogant on the ball. I think that sums him up so well from everything I've seen, where he's a magician on the ball and he has the confidence to say, pass it to me, I'm going to make something special happen. He has I think on average like 96 touches a game, which is a lot for an attacking player. So he's always looking to get on the ball. And that again is the personality of someone that has so much confidence on the pitch, but he's also humble off the ball. What does that mean? He's someone that's going to come back. He's going to press. He's going to help defensively. And again, I'm not going to put any kind of I don't want to say that Shaki is not the type to run or to press or to do any of those things, but I do think what makes Wirtz so special is his mentality. And the fact that Liverpool see that he's already this good at having just turned 22 and the ceiling he can get to in an even better team. Because as good as Leverkusen were, I mean, look at the season they had 2 seasons ago. Incredible. He's playing with better players now. And when you play with better players, it elevates your game. You know what I mean? But the reason why I think we see Wirtz as really, truly one of a kind is not just what he does on the ball, but what he does off the ball and how much of a team player he is. All of those things, and also knowing when to not hold on to the ball for too long. That is something he's incredible at, apparently. And that's why you see his numbers in the final third are elite, and that's footballing IQ in the final third, knowing when to not hold on to the ball too long. That's really important. Does Ibou leave this summer? I hope not. I hope not either. I feel exactly the same as you. Do I think there's a chance? Unfortunately, yes. I think unfortunately, yes, because right now, because we've left it so late, all of the power will kind of be in the hands of Ibou Konate and his agent. Why? Because I'll bet you there's a lot of top clubs that are already speaking to him, like a Real Madrid, who are saying, listen, we want to sign you on a free. And you might say, why Real Madrid? They just signed Dean Huijsen. They got Asensio to sign a new contract. They have all these defenders because now they'll play a 3 at the back with with Xavi Alonso, and they'll probably play a high line, so he would suit their system really well. And I could see Real Madrid wanting to sign him. And as you can see, their new strategy seems to be trying to sign top players on a free, like they did with Trent, like they did with Kylian Mbappe. So yeah, I think even though Marca, I'm not going to believe much of what they're saying. I would be surprised if Real Madrid aren't doing that, if they're not trying to top him up already, just because of how they seem to be doing business nowadays. So my worry is I do think Ibou wants to stay, but I think it's in his power now to ask for really high wages. So we shall see if we're willing to match. Maybe let's say it's around the £200,000 a week mark, or else I don't know what's going to happen, because Real Madrid seems like the type of club that are just going to say to Ibou, listen, we'll only take you on a free though, so you have to run down your contract. So I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what we're going to do, but my hope obviously is that he stays. I love Ibou Konate, and I said this in a video yesterday. I don't think there's a defender out there that comes in. I'm not talking about potential. I'm talking about the right now. And the right now is so important, because I was mentioning Virgil and Salah earlier. They both have 2 years left. So we need players who are ready-made right now. And I don't see center backs available in the market right now that would be that channel defender on the right-hand side next to Virg and operate at that level that Ibou is right now. So losing him would be a massive loss. And that's why, hopefully, that's why I am kind of confident that we will go and match the money that they're asking for him, you know? Do you think we'll really let Costas leave before we have a deal in place for Hato? I think we should get a deal ready for him first, just so we don't risk only having one left back. Yes, I see what you mean. The only thing is we do have the likes of Owen Beck. Not saying Owen Beck is good. I don't know his current levels, but I think he's highly rated in the academy. And we have Joe Gomez. I thought at certain points Joe Gomez looked his best at left back. I thought he was fantastic for us at left back. And I know he has his injury issues and everything else, but I do think we have some players who can play as a backup left back. And Costas, it kind of depends. Maybe Leeds are coming towards us, for example, and they're saying we need to get the deal sealed early for our left back, otherwise we're going to move on to another option. And if that's the case, then of course we might have to deal our cards that way. So it all depends on kind of how the market is moving. But yeah, I think Hato, we had in mind that we would wait an extra year for him because he's been starting for Ajax, so that's what's best for his development. But I have a feeling that if Costas does end up leaving too, that we end up getting Hato earlier. Why? Because he probably wouldn't have wanted to go to Liverpool unless he was guaranteed minutes. But now between left center back in moments where Virgil will need a rest and left back in rotation with Kirkez, he's going to get lots of playing time, if you get what I'm saying. So I think if we were to sign Jordan Hato this summer, that issue that we kind of had before of him not getting many minutes at all, I think wouldn't be a problem anymore. But like I said, you were asking about Costas before. I'm just putting myself again in Costas' shoes. I think over the years he would have hoped that the moment Robbo moves on is his time to shine. And clearly that's not the case. Otherwise we wouldn't have spent £40 million on our Kirkez. That's a lot of money for a fullback for us especially, you know? So I think he is now ready for first team football. I think he is, because he knows he's good enough. And like I said, there's been reports of Leeds, but I'm sure there's many other teams around Europe that would be interested in him if his agent starts to talk to clubs saying he's open for a move this summer, you know? So yeah, it all kind of depends on how the market is moving. I'm super disappointed that we missed out on Cherki to City as well. I was watching some of his interviews for City, and I absolutely love his mentality, you know, and he's a player. I know City are straight rivals, but I'm excited to see how he does in the Premier League because he's an old school baller. In his interview, he even said he finds it sad that in modern football that there's no more like street ball kind of fun on the pitch anymore. So many of the players kind of have to fit systems. They're more robotic in the way they play. And he says he only knows one way of playing. And it's like that, having fun on the football pitch. And because he has so much ability on the ball, I think Pep Guardiola is going to let him do his thing. Because when you have a special player like that, you let them do their thing. And we've known about him for years. Anybody that plays Football Manager, since he was 16 on FM for Lyon, he already had crazy potential. So he's been known for a long, long time as this, like, you know, incredible talent from France. And look, he's what, 21, 22 now, and he's already made this big move to join Pep Guardiola at City. So yeah, I agree. He's one I'm really sad we missed out on because, Yeah, he's 21, but he's turning 22 in August. But yeah, obviously very young. Because players like that are just such a joy to watch, you know? Yes, guys. So the latest on Darwin Núñez, and this was yesterday from Fabrizio Romano, that Napoli have moved from phone calls to serious, direct, and concrete contacts for Darwin Núñez. They're working on the operation. So it seems like right now, the Saudi talk has gone down a little bit, and it looks like Napoli, because Osimhen is going to be leaving probably to Saudi, that Darwin, at least Napoli really want to sign him, that he fits Antonio Conte's system. He would get to play with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, and he's the one that they want to sign. What I just wonder is, how much of a fee can Napoli pay? I don't know. I don't know, but surely we don't let him go for less than 50 million. Surely. You know what I mean? I was confident had it been Saudi, we would have gone a big fee. Like apparently they bid 70 million in January. But I just worry that if it is Napoli, and I do think probably Darwin would prefer to stay in Europe, then how much can Napoli really pay? You know what I mean? Because they've already made big moves this summer. They offered Antonio Conte a big contract for him to stay at the club because he was initially potentially going to leave, even after winning the league. They signed Kevin De Bruyne, so imagine how expensive the sign-on fee would have been and the wages and all that. And now they want to get Darwin. So let's see how that moves. But I could see Darwin doing well to Napoli. Honestly, I think he would. I think he would, as Desert say, I think he would cook there. Yeah, I think he would.